The Buffalo Bills secured the win yesterday, but the defense felt like it got exposed. We're sitting up top the AFC right now. We're 4-0. Things look great on the outlook side of the, just the box score room and the power rankings maybe. But frankly, right now, I'm sitting here on Victory Monday, actually a little sad. I don't know why. I wanted to go into that game and win by 20 points. I wanted to go into that game and win by 25 points and have the Saints only score like maybe 10 points. But Bills Mafia, the scoreboard was only 31-19 against a winless team. You've got, a lot of people, of course, are saying the Bills are one of the top two, one of the top three teams in the NFL, and the Saints are a bottom three team. We should have won that game by more than double digits. But yeah, there's a lot of parity in the NFL. You can say like, oh, they're a better team than they are on paper. But this feels like a really dirty and grimy 4-0 start. Yes, 4-0 is 4-0, but let's be real. If you didn't have a pit in your stomach at halftime, then I don't think you were watching the game. The Saints are a winless team. They're rebuilding, and they gashed our defense for 189 rushing yards. I don't even care about the passing yards right now. Yeah, our Benford and some of our other defensive backs didn't play as well as we wanted them to. But the thing that was killing me, the thing that Next Gen Stats even brought today, and I have a stat here, is we gave up 165 rushing yards after contact, which means our defense, our front seven, and even some of our defensive backs, I'll talk about this today, we're not making tackles. We're just throwing our arms on them. We're not putting our bodies into them. And so, again, what does this mean for the Buffalo Bills right now? We feel exposed. We should have dominated this team, but even though we won by 12 points, it doesn't feel like a dominant win in the fashion that we want to see from a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. So what does this mean for the Bills moving forward? Today, we're going to break it all down, but before we get into it, I just want to humbly thank you. If you're watching this video, I appreciate you. One, our channel is growing like a weed. We're all just, Buffalo Bills fans who want really to enjoy this content together. We want to enjoy building a community. We want to talk about the Buffalo Bills football. And really in all of it, I never expected us to grow this much, this quickly. We're less than 2 months in, and we just hit 1,000 subscribers earlier last week. And so I'm thankful for you. My hope and my desire with this channel is one, to bring you part of the Bills Mafia, a sense of joy, perspective, and even value. When I look at these breakdowns, I want them to be something that's actually entertaining, that's fun, that's enjoyable. And of course, I want to have conversations in the comments. It's a lot of fun to do that. And so I welcome you there. But in all of that, I want to get right into it. And on the screen right now, you're going to see some of our snap percentages, but also a picture of Cole Bishop going up for that interception on that play, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think the headline that we need to look at is that the defense was getting gashed. Again, and by the way, just look at some of these snap percentages. Our safeties are playing about 100%. You can look at some of the other ones, and maybe we can talk about some of these guys here in a second. But check out our snap percentages. I think those are important to acknowledge. We'll note them in a second. But I think that's, again, the headline, is that our defense was collapsing and it was getting gashed. We were playing the Saints yesterday, not a world beater offense. We weren't playing the Falcons. We weren't playing the Chargers. We weren't playing the Colts, some of these great run teams. We were playing the Saints, who in all likelihood are not going to make the playoffs. And again, if the Saints, who are a non-contending team, come into our house and they start running on us like that, that's an issue. Buffalo yesterday missed 12 tackles, 22% missed tackle rate, which is way above the league average of 15% per PFF, right? Trey White also missed 3. Taylor Rapp missed a couple, and Teron Johnson missed a couple. We were letting, by the way, all 3 of those guys that I just listed are defensive backs, which means that the running game of the Saints was getting past our front seven consistently. Every single time a Saint touched the ball, it felt like they were going for 5 or more yards no matter what. It was almost guaranteed. The Saints averaged 5.5 yards or 5.6 yards per carry compared to Buffalo's given up average of 4.2 allowed. And remember, this came against a Saints offense who actually, coming into this week, was not one of the top rush offenses in the NFL. They were a bottom third team when it came to rushing, right? And that's why I think we as Buffalo Bills fans were walking out of halftime, or I was just watching it at home, but like going into halftime, but also in the second half, just with mixed emotions. Yes, we were ahead. Yes, we were playing all right. Yes, there was things to be excited about. I love the Cole Bishop's interception, but like some of these things should never have been in a position that they were in the first place. But here's the thing. For all those mistakes, we had a guy, a second-year, safety, Cole Bishop, make a huge play on this crazy reverse Chris Olave pass, which he probably should have never thrown the ball. He should have probably just thrown away. But sometimes when you put receivers in those situations, they make bad mistakes. And the Spencer Rattler double reverse, potentially a 10-point swing in the Saints' favor, gets picked, and we take advantage of that. And of course, later in the game, which I'll show you this. If you want to look back on the screen here, here's a video of the play, the touchdown pass to Dalton Kincaid that really sealed the game for us. Dalton Kincaid, again, showing that he's back from his knee injury. He's looking really good, even though last year he played most of the season. He's just looking dominant. But it was the 27-yard scramble of Josh Allen in our offense, again, putting us above 30 points a game, which is a massive threshold to continually hit. I'll let this clip keep running, but that's the paradox, is our defense is giving up a lot of yards on the ground. The defense is giving up bad field position and momentum. But again, when the game is in the balance, Josh Allen and our offense comes in, they move the ball down the field, and they score just enough to put us over the edge, to get us comfortable, to give us that cushion. And of course, the best player in the world finishes the game, and he gets the job done. So what does this mean, though, for us right now? Again, we can't get away from the fact that this is an 0-4 Saints team, a team that's not that's not going to be in there. We're not going to play them in the Super Bowl, right? They're not probably even going to make the playoffs. They just know that if they run the ball, if they stay patient, that they're going to beat our defensive line. I'm looking at some of these guys, and of course, we don't have Ed Oliver out. We'll talk about personnel in a moment, but an offensive coordinator on the other side of the ball, they're going to look at us and they're going to say, okay, how can we exploit inside and outside zone runs against the Buffalo Bills to get just consistent yards per carry? In the first 4 games, except for the Jets game, which again, even kind of surprises me, we were really, really struggling against the run game. It's all great that it's Victory Monday, but I'm sitting here again with a pit in my stomach saying, where is our run defense? The Bills are 4-0 and one of the only 2 remaining teams who are undefeated this year. But again, I feel exposed because our run defense cannot make tackles, and they cannot really, again, tackles for loss at that. But the good news is I think these problems are fixable. I want to talk about 3 problems. The first one is personnel. The second one is tackling. And the third one is the discipline. So with personnel, again, we've got some players out right now. I hate this. I'm not trying to cope right now. I'm just trying to be a realist. I'm not trying to be overly optimistic, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic here, but just stay with me. We've got some players out. We know Ed Oliver's out. When he's coming back, we don't know. We've got Matt Milano out. If he's ever going to come back, he would be an addition to our team. Again, Ed Oliver in week 1 against the Ravens was literally the top graded defensive tackle out of all of them. Of course, we've got Okunjobi, we've got TJ Sanders, and we've got Deion Walker, all guys, one in Okunjobi who we have not seen on the defensive line. And I think he's a guy who's going to come in and instantly improve on our first and second down defense. He's going to improve our run stopping. But Deion Walker is showing a level of growth. Now, we haven't seen, again, the level of consistency we want to see in his run defense. But TJ Sanders, also a rookie, they've been getting significant snaps. But one just know, Landon Jackson didn't play again. I was really thinking that he was going to play, but our front 7, the way that we had our roster constructed going into Sunday, it was pretty thin on our defensive line. That was surprising, or our defensive front 7. But the second thing I want to talk about here is tackling. This isn't exotic. This isn't crazy. We've seen teams like the 49ers a couple years ago, or the Eagles a couple years ago, cut their missed tackle rate down in mid-season, and actually simply by practicing it more and more. Sometimes I think coaches, what they need to do mid-season, and I think our coaches are going to do this, is they are going to look at some of these issues with tackling, and they're going to make it a priority in practice, and I hopefully are going to see a level of improvement pretty quickly. But the last thing is discipline. We gave up too many penalties yesterday and a handful on our defense, which gave the New Orleans Saints better field position than probably they should have. Yes, when you look at the box score, you're not often seeing the penalty yardage or the nuance of the penalty yardage and how it was affecting our play and field position, but that matters. But regardless of where it was in the context of the nuance of it, we need to look at this and we need to ask the question, why is this team playing sloppy right now with penalties? That needs to get cleaned up if we're going to win games in January. But again, let's be real. People are already whispering. People are already talking about this on Twitter. We want to get a player ahead of the trade deadline to really enhance our run stopping. I don't know who it is. I've got to look into that this week. Maybe there's a veteran run stuffer, or maybe there's a guy out, out that's available. I know we picked up, or we had Jordan Phillips come up this game. We just didn't see it in the way that we wanted to see it. But here's the other side. Again, the Buffalo Bills are still undefeated. They've outscored their opponents by, again, like 11 points per game. It's like 10.75 points per game, which is amazing. Again, there's no other team right now that's playing like we are in some of these wins, or I guess the Eagles are 4-0 like that. But that's not a fluke, though. It's resilience. And while everyone's complaining and nitpicking about every single thing on our defense, talent in coaching is still rising above and still getting wins on Sundays. We can't have a level of inconsistency going into some of the harder matchups we have in the second half of the year, and hopefully we'll be a little bit stronger off with Hoyt and Ogunjobi coming back, and hopefully Maxwell Hairston, and hopefully Ed Oliver and Matt Milano. Those are all potential key contributors on our defense. And again, we have like 3 rookies on defense that are playing at a pretty decent level and are giving us contribution. But in all of it, we still looked a little bit shaky. I had a gut in my stomach. I felt like we were a little exposed, but thankfully a win here is not a fatal flaw. A bad win, a dirty win, a grimy win is not a fatal flaw. I think in all of it, this is just a warning shot, a reminder to our players and to our coaches that it doesn't matter who we're playing on Sunday. They are still an NFL team that is going to try to exploit our weaknesses, and we only get so many opportunities to overcome the woes that we have on defense. So, Bills Mafia, I want to throw this to you a second. What was this, a wake-up call, or was this just another one of those ugly wins that you just got to get on a Sunday? Drop your takes down below. What do you want to see? What kind of mood? Is there a personnel move that you want to see our coaching staff make, or do you want to see some accountability out of our coaching staff? My name is Colin. This is Crack the Table. We are all Bills, no breaks. God bless, and go Bills. See you tomorrow.